Story time of how I've been watched this entire time. Story time of how I was being stalked and I had to call the police in the middle of the AMs to save my ass. Literally. I mean, I believe Japan is the safest place I've ever been in. I have a lot of instances where I've walked in the middle of the night and even in the AMs for hours and nothing happened to me. And I have instances with my friends where they've lost their stuff and literally the next day they were found, or even in a few weeks. But the thing is, you always find your things. And it never happens back in Lesotho. It never happens in South Africa. The safest, right? But is it really 100% safe? I mean, it's the same country where its minister was shot dead in the middle of a speech a few years ago. Same country where in 2023 the consent age was 13 years old, and it has been 13 years old for a while. Same country where a man is still being looked for who did a hit and run on one of my schoolmates, and he's still not found. And it's been years till today. This man, I believe everyone sees this man everywhere in Japan, in Tokyo, Osaka, literally everywhere, Beppu, where I live. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit of a little miss drama, ha 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 ha. But the truth is, I'm serious. You still need to be careful in Japan. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to yet another dose of Diary of Defi. If you haven't subscribed, child, do what you gotta do. Subscribe, like, share, do whatever to support your girl. Anyways, let's get into the story. So this is literally last year, and this is around end of July, and I at that time I really didn't have anything in my fridge because I wanted to leave everything empty because I was gonna go to Tokyo for a while, for over a month. So I literally had nothing in my fridge. But around 2 a.m. that day, I started feeling like some yogurt. This yogurt. I love this yogurt. Anyways, I started feeling like I really need yogurt for some reason because I was gonna have a long night watching movies and whatever. So I needed some yogurt. So I leave my house and I'm on a call with my friend from home, Hilda, Black Child. Shout out to my friend. Anyways, I'm on a call with her on my way to a 7-Eleven, and it's literally close. It's about like 2 minutes, a minute away. Now I'm on a call with my friend and I buy yogurt, and then so when I'm going back home, I'm still on a call with my friend and I see someone is literally walking behind me, and it's a man who is wearing all black, right? And so uh I'm walking very slowly, but then I see he's walking right behind me. And so I stop so he can like walk past me, right? So he does that. And as he walks past me, he keeps like turning his head to look at me. He keeps doing that constantly. And I remember telling my friend, "Oh my God, like this man keeps looking at me, and I feel really weird about it. I don't know why, but I just felt so weird. You know when they say you're about to die and you can feel that your instincts tell you that something wrong is happening. That was what was happening. And for the first time, I actually believed the whole story that people always say that when you're about to die, you feel it. But anyways, so yeah, I told my friend, and I remember very well, I told my friend, this man is really weird. And then my friend suggested, well, walk slowly and see where he goes. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do exactly that. So this man, he keeps on turning his head, and I'm like, it's really creepy, right? And at this time, I'm like, I've already seen I've seen his face, right? And I'm like, I know very well he doesn't live in my building, and if he goes to my building, that would be very, very weird, right? And so I keep walking closer, and I see him walking into my building, and already I told my friend that, girl, this man is weird. I know for sure he doesn't live in my building, right? My friend is like, oh my God, girl, be careful, like stay on a call and whatever. And then we stay on a call. And before I enter my building, the entrance of my building, I literally stand away further from across the road from my building, right? And it's not really far. It's like probably like a meter apart, right? So I I realized that this man is literally hiding where we park bicycles. And this is like a very narrow space where no one ever stands there. Like if you're standing there, you're weird. And my thing is, I think he waited there because it's dark and like very narrow that I probably wouldn't have noticed. Because remember, he's wearing black clothes, so it's dark. So of course I wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't paid attention, right? And so I see him waiting there, and I'm like, this is so weird. Nobody ever does this. Like, it's so narrow. Nobody ever does that. Like, you can never do that. It's very, very narrow. And it's clear that he was literally hiding, right? So I see him, and my thing is, should I go upstairs? But like, if I go upstairs, he'll quickly go behind me, and I know I'll be in a panic mode. I might do anything that will get me in trouble because, first of all, like anybody would do that. Like if someone is just walking behind you and scared, you're probably gonna hit him or something. And what if something happens to him and he dies, and the police will be there, and No one is gonna ask why, what was he doing here? You don't know him. What was he doing here? I'm definitely gonna get in trouble because I'm a foreigner, right? So I have to be careful. So I remember telling my friend, like, girl, he's here, and I know this guy is waiting for me. Like, I don't know, right? And so I try to enter the building. And as I try to enter the building, he comes out of where he's hiding and he starts like heading towards me in a weird way, like like, and I start running out of the building and I'm shouting, and my friend is like, girl, what's going on? My friend on the phone is like, girl, what's going on? And he runs, like he also chases me as I run, and I'm like, oh my god, I start screaming and running and running and running. And then I headed to the 7-Eleven, right? So when I turn, before I enter the 7-Eleven, I see he's nowhere to be found anymore. And so I'm thinking like, oh my god, if I go back, I left my door open. What if he's hiding in my house? You know? And so I got really scared and I'm like, I'm not going back there alone. So I go back to a 7-Eleven and I talk to the lady who was on shift that night. I'm like, please help me. There's a man who's waiting outside my door, and like, I'm really scared. I don't want to go back. Like, I was super scared, bro. Like, I was like, my life is literally flashing in front of my eyes. Anyways, so I tell the lady, please call the police, please help me. So the lady helps me call the police, and I think like 10 minutes later, the police come and show up, and I have to enter the police car for the first time in my life in Japan. Anyways, so we enter there, and they drive back to the building, and so I explain and show them. And the explaining was also really hard because my Japanese is not that good for me to explain that. Oh my god, this man was stalking me, you know. But I told them like he was literally standing here, and it's a really weird place. And even the policeman was like, it's a really weird like place to hide, like to stand there, right? And I told them like, I've never seen this man before. I've lived here for a long time, and I know very well that this man doesn't live here, you know. And so they accompany me to my door, and they ask me, did you lock the door? I'm like, no. And they're like, okay, open the door, and they entered in the house with me. And so I had to open everything and check if he's in my house anywhere, like outside the balcony, to make sure that he's nowhere in my house, the bathroom, everywhere, right? And so after I do that, I went through a whole 2 hours of answering questions like, what was he wearing? Can you describe his face? And remember, my Japanese is not that good to be describing how his face is like, and how I really can't at that point. And also, I'm really tired and exhausted at this point because I'm really tired and I'm like, oh my gosh, can I really sleep? Because right now I'm really freaking out. I'm paranoid, right? But I had to wait there for like almost 2 hours and answer the questions. And they also had to wait. They went back because another thing that made it also very scared is because the policemen whom I came with in their car, they also called like another car, and this is where people who were not in police clothes, they were in black clothes. So I'm thinking they're probably detectives, because even when they came, they started asking me literally the same questions that the policemen had asked me, and they even asked for my residence card and everything, like where I go to school and stuff. So I had to give them those information. They even took a picture of my ID and whatever. And then so after literally 2 hours, this is around 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and they're like, oh my gosh, they're telling me, oh, it's probably someone who lives in the building. And I told them, no, it can't be anyone who lives in the building because I know. And also, if you live in the building, why are you like hiding in such a weird place? And why are you chasing me as I run through, you know? But then they're like, oh, it's probably someone who lives here, or we don't. And they were like, we'll look into it and maybe call you later, like in a few days. And I was like, okay. But they never called. And to be honest, I really didn't want them to call me back like that anymore. Because I felt like that at that time, I felt, okay, it's solved. I'm in my house and I'm safe, right? But also, I knew like in literally 2 days, I'm leaving for Tokyo. And I literally couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to leave because I was like, I cannot. And when I came back, like coming back to my place, like I was so paranoid. If I have to walk maybe from class, it's 9 p.m. from class, because some classes ended you know 7:30, and the only time I get home is at 9, and I have to come to my house. I literally have to like look, take a look at the place and see if there anyone standing. Like, it was really paranoid when I came back. And when I was having conversations with my friend like later on about it and telling them this whole thing, they were saying, it's probably like a Japanese man who was talking for a while. And I'm like, cause he it looks like he has been stalking me for a while and watching me for a while, because how exactly did you know where I lived? Like exactly where I lived. Like, it's really weird. And also one of my friends was just like, it's probably like, and even though he's stalking you, he probably just wanted to say hi to you. And I'm like, and why are you trying to say hi to someone and you're approaching them in that way? That's like the weirdest way to approach someone, because obviously any girl would be scared. And I keep thinking about what would have happened if I wasn't paying attention and I walked right up. And I know myself, I would have like probably hit him, or like did something to harm him. And that would have gotten me in trouble. But yeah, and I've heard like a lot of people talk about how Japanese people stalk them, like how Japanese men have stalked them, and like it happens a lot. So as much as we say Japan is safe, we still have to be careful, because girl, be careful if you're walking in the middle of the night or whatever. Yes, it's safe, but also pay attention to the surrounding around you, because I can't stop thinking what would have happened if I didn't pay attention. Anyways, yeah, that's the end of the. He never showed up later on, by the way. He never showed up. I've never seen anything weird after that. And yeah, so that's the end of my story of how I was stalked and I had to call the police. A lot of people, a lot of girls have stories of being stalked in Japan. And if you do have those stories, please comment. That was all from me today with love from Diary of Defi. Bye.